When a race team loses one of its stars, the big question is always the same: who gets the car next? And the choice Childress Racing looks ready to make has a lot of NASCAR fans shaking their heads instead of cheering. Quick setup, then we get into the good stuff. After Kyle Busch passed away in May of 2026, RCR had a seat to fill. They put his number, the number 8, away and switched the car to number 33. They're saving that number 8 for Kyle's young son Gragson for when he's old enough to race. If that move sounds familiar, it's because RCR did the same thing after Dale Earnhardt died in 2001. They parked his number 3 and didn't bring it back for 13 years. So this tells you how much respect they had for Kyle. That's a level they've shown to almost no one. Now to the part everyone's actually arguing about: who drives that number 33 in 2027? For the rest of this season, it's been Austin Hill. Hill usually races for RCR in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, which is one level below the Top Cup Series. When the seat opened up, they moved him into it, and in that lower series, Hill is genuinely great. He's got 16 wins, all with RCR, plus 8 more in the Truck Series. The guy knows how to win. The problem is, the top level has been a different story. His best finish in the number 33 so far is only 18th. He also crashed while fighting for the lead at the street race in San Diego, so the results just haven't been there yet. And still, word going around is that RCR is leaning toward keeping Hill in that car full-time next year. One report flat out said, all signs currently point to Hill staying put. His teammate Austin Dillon talked him up, saying Hill has won at every level when it comes to the Truck and O'Reilly series, and that he's been able to take bad days and turn them into good days. But when a reporter asked Dillon straight up about 2027, he dodged it. "I'll wait and let RCR make that call," he said. That's when fans got loud, and not the happy kind of loud. A lot of them think keeping Hill is a boring, safe pick. He's been in the car for weeks now and hasn't really changed anyone's mind. The worry is simple. He wins in the lower series, sure, but can he actually be fast and steady in a Cup car every single week? Fans keep asking the same thing. If he's this good, why did it take a tragedy for him to finally get a full-time Cup ride? To a lot of people, handing this special card to a driver who's still unproven at the top feels like a letdown. But there's a second name in this fight, and it's a juicy one. Noah Gragson. A respected NASCAR reporter named Jordan Bianchi said Hill and Gragson are the two names to watch for the seat. And here's what makes Gragson interesting. Years ago, he got his big break driving for Kyle Busch's own truck team, where he won races and nearly won a championship. So, there's a real personal connection there. Gragson also brings something the team really cares about. Dale Earnhardt Jr. pointed out that Gragson has a strong relationship with Bass Pro Shops, and that sponsors just love his personality. That actually matters a ton here. Kyle's car carried some bold sponsors, like nicotine and bourbon brands, and those companies usually want an older, marketable driver in the seat. So what's the catch? Gragson is having a rough year. He drives a Ford for a smaller team called Front Row Motorsports, and he still hasn't won a single Cup race in his whole career. His average finish this season is way back around 24th. On top of that, some fans were hoping he'd stay and help build that little Ford team up, so the idea of him jumping ship to a Chevy at RCR rubs them the wrong way. Really, it comes down to an either-or. If RCR picks Gragson for the Cup car, Hill most likely stays in the lower series. If Hill gets the promotion instead, Gragson probably has to go find a ride somewhere else. There's even been a third long-shot name tossed around, a young driver named Sammy Smith, but reporters don't give him much of a real chance. And here's something people forget. This one decision doesn't just affect one car. If Hill moves up to Cup full-time, it opens holes in RCR's lower series program, which has been a winning machine for years. Suddenly, young prospects like Carson Brown and Chandler Smith could get big opportunities. One choice, and the dominoes start falling all over the team. Now, here's the part that makes this whole thing feel almost too perfect to be real. This week, the Cup Series rolls into Atlanta, a track called Echo Park Speedway. And Atlanta is basically Austin Hill's backyard. He grew up right nearby in Winston, Georgia, racing little cars on a small track that sits inside that same speedway. In the lower series, he's a beast there. He's won 5 of the last 9 races and swept both Atlanta events in 2024. A win this weekend would actually make him the winningest driver in that series' history at the track, passing the legend Kevin Harvick. But now watch how the numbers line up, because this is wild. This Atlanta race is Hill's 8th start since he took over Kyle's car. 8, the same number that used to be on the door of Kyle's car. And it goes even deeper. Remember how RCR did all this before with Earnhardt? When Earnhardt died in 2001, Kevin Harvick took over his ride. And in just his 3rd start, Harvick won his first race. Where? Atlanta. Now here's Hill, chasing his own first Cup win in his 25th try on Kyle's tribute weekend at his home track. The odds are stacked way against him. But if Hill somehow drives into victory lane Sunday night, it wouldn't just be a win. It could lock up that number 33 seat for good and hand this heartbreaking story, the kind of storybook ending you honestly couldn't write any better. So that's where things stand. RCR looks ready to keep Austin Hill. The fans are split down the middle between loyal and smart and boring and safe. And Noah Gragson is lurking as the wild card who could flip the whole thing upside down. Nothing is official yet. The team named Hill the driver for now, but they've stopped short of confirming who really gets that car in 2027. And the funny thing is, one good run at Atlanta this weekend might just answer the whole question for them. When you step back and look at the whole picture, you start to understand why this is so hard for everyone involved. RCR isn't just filling a seat. They're trying to honor a driver they loved while also winning races and keeping sponsors happy. And those things don't always pull in the same direction. Keep Hill, and they play it safe with a loyal guy who's earned a shot. Chase Gragson, and they roll the dice on personality and sponsor appeal over proven speed. There's no perfect answer here, and maybe that's the whole point. Some seats in this sport carry so much history that no choice will ever feel quite big enough to fill them. And that's exactly the spot Richard Childress finds himself in right now. But here's the thing that makes this even trickier for Childress. Every week that goes by without a real answer, the noise only gets louder. Fans are picking sides on social media, reporters keep digging for hints, and every time Austin Hill climbs into that car, the whole garage is watching to see if he does something special or something forgettable. That kind of pressure can break a young driver, or it can be the exact thing that finally makes him. And the strangest part is that Kyle Busch himself thrived under pressure like this his entire career. He raced angry, he raced loud, and he almost always raced better when people doubted him. And if that ends up being Hill, starting this Sunday at his home track, then this whole story might just come full circle in the best way possible.